Well, it's great to have you here with us on this 6th day of July 2015. It is Morning Express, and it's now time for Lifestyle. And on Mondays, you know, on Lifestyle, what we normally do, we either have an inspirational story or we also deal with social issues. Now, our subject today is in between both. It's a bit of a social issue, but also is an inspirational story. And you and I know that within the African culture, one of the things that is used to measure how male or how female you are is childbearing. Yet, we still say that children are a gift from God. But somehow, we believe that they're a gift from God, but we expect everybody, you know, somehow, as soon as you get married, your aunties, your uncles, and everybody, society generally, has a lot of pressure for you to suddenly have these children. Should you not be lucky for one reason or the other, or should you not even want to have children, then you're also viewed less of a man or less of a woman. I'm sure many of us could identify with that, and if you don't, well, listen up, because your day might come and you might be under that pressure and you'll wonder what to do. Well, joining me on the set today is Cecilia Wairimo Karanja. Thank you for joining us, Cecilia.
Thank you.
And let's just start from the basics and maybe tell me a little bit about yourself, where you grew up, what schools you went to, just those small, you know, little details that would help us understand you.
Okay, my name is Cecilia Wairimo Karanja, founder of Fertility Kenya. I grew up in Nairobi, just here in Lango Kubwa, and yeah, I went to school in Juja Road Primary, and later on joined secondary in Kinangops, a school down there. After that, I went to do sales and marketing. I've done sales and marketing. I've done merchandising, I've done promotions, and later on I did a diploma in events management. So basically, yeah, I'm an event planner. Okay. Yes.
So you grew up like any other, you know, normal girl, looking up to life and expecting and aspiring to have a normal life. Tell me, what were you desiring to be as you were growing up? What did you see your life becoming?
First of all, when I was growing up in school, I thought that I'll be an air hostess. And later on, as life went on, my mom passed on when I was in class 8. Then my dad when I was in class, when I was in Form 2. So the chances of getting to that level was coming down. So later on, after finishing school, I decided to start hustling, I will say. So I started as a promoter, where later on I graduated to sales, and later on I started my own business, and that is now where I am. Where you are
today.
Yeah.
And what made you kill the dream of becoming an air hostess?
Because I guess I was less privileged, because now after my mom passed on when I was in class 8, and now my dad passed on when I was in Form 3, the only person who was taking care of us was my brother, and he was taking care of all of us. So basically, it was very hard for us to achieve that. And then the school I went to after I left primary, we went to a secondary in those rural kind of areas. So along the way, I changed my whole thinking, my whole concept of becoming an air hostess. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, you've mentioned that you're the founder of Fertility Kenya, and I'm sure that Fertility Kenya, from what I read, was born out of a story. Yeah. Tell me, you now, you know, started your business, and it got to a point where now you wanted to get married, like any other girl would, and tell me about that.
Yeah. As I told you, when I was growing up, I didn't have the parents, so I just needed. After I grew up and I started working, I got this man who we started dating, and as everybody needs to be loved, and I thought this is an opportunity. I had this big dream of just having a big wedding and people just coming on that day and celebrating, you know. So basically that is what happened when we met. We did a church wedding and everybody came, and everybody was like, now it's we are happy that you're together. The next thing, we want to come and hold your children, and it was all excitement. So basically when we went home, we stayed for 1 year, nothing was happening. Stayed for 2 years, No baby, nothing.
At this point, you are desiring to have a baby. It was not because of any birth control?
No. In fact, what I would say, from the time I got married, I'd never used any birth control.
Okay.
So basically for me, I was like, I'm getting a baby. So that is what we had planned, that we are going to get a baby immediately. So we tried the first year, nothing was happening. Second year, nothing was happening. The third year, nothing was happening. So along the first and second year, in that relationship, it was very brutal, because he could not understand, he could not take the fact that I'm not getting children. So he started beating me, and I'll go to hospital, I'll go get
the first 3 years of the
yeah,
marriage.
the first 3 years of the marriage. He could not digest the fact that I'm not conceiving.
Right.
So it became very
an abusive relationship.
an abusive relationship, whereby he used to beat me, and when I went to their place, everybody was looking at me, because every December we used to have like a celebration, and all the family members will come. We used to chinja mbuzi, and so every time we went for celebration, everyone was looking at me, and I was like, Kwani, what is happening? One day, one of their siblings got the guts to ask me, Kwani, what is happening with me? I'm not getting any kids. So I told them, yeah, I'm trying, but I know God will come at the right time. I remember in between the third and the fourth year, there's a time I pretended that I was pregnant, because the pressure was too much. I went to the place wearing like a maternity dress. And luckily enough, I normally have a pot. So basically, when I went,
enough, that's the first time I've heard a woman say, luckily enough, she has a pot.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So when I went there, I was like, I looked so pregnant, and I behaved like I was pregnant, and everybody was so excited.
So you got to a point where you actually literally had to act pregnant.
Yes, I had to act pregnant. Yeah, for acceptance, so that that issue of me not getting a baby can erase from their mind. So I went and I pretended that I was pregnant. Everyone was excited. And then little did I know, after 9 months, I'll have to go back, and they'll want to see a baby.
Tell them what happened to the baby.
Yeah, so I went back, and they were like, what happened? I said, I miscarried.
At this point where you are pretending to be pregnant, did your husband know you were pretending, or was he out of the picture?
He was out of the picture, but there's something I really wanted the other people, the society, to think about. Him, there's no way you can pretend, and you're having your periods every month. So basically, he will know you are pretending. But for me, I wanted the society to have a different perspective, that Cecilia is pregnant now. So when I went there, and they saw that after 9 months I did get a baby. I said I just miscarried, and at least I had to rest for that period of around 1 year. So within my the third year, I decided, why don't I go to hospital and get checked what is happening with me? So I went. I was done some tests. I was done HSG. I was done some pelvic scan, where they check if the uterus is fine and the eggs if they're fine. And also HSG is where they check if the tubes are open or blocked. Okay. So it was found that I was fine. So Daktari gave me some medicine to take just to boost my fertility. So basically, I stayed another 1 year. On my 4th year, I was not conceiving. I went back to my Daktari. You told me I'm fine. So why am I not conceiving? So on the 4th year is when they said, now we need to incorporate your husband so that you check what is happening. So at that point, that is when it was checked and found that the sperm count was low.
Okay, his sperm count was low.
Yes.
All right. Maybe before we get to what happened after that, how did you manage to convince him? Because I know culturally it is not very easy for a man to even go for a sperm count. Normally when you cannot conceive, it is almost assumed. And that's why maybe even the family was looking at you and wondering what's going on, because as far as they were concerned, their son was okay. So how did you manage to get him to go to the hospital for the sperm count?
Like I've told you, the pressure was too much. He was always harassing me. I told him, you see, right now, the doctor has said I'm okay. So I really don't understand why I'm not conceiving. So at that point, when I told him that Daktari needs to just check what is happening with him, he did not have a choice but to agree. So
So you went together?
Yeah, we went together. Yeah, and yeah, from there he was given medication to take, but as a man with the ego, never takes. So he didn't take the medication. So it was a bit hard for us to just work out something together. So the beatings went on, and it was getting worse every day. And to a point, we went for counseling. We talked to pastors about it, and by the end of it all, when they heard that now it's too much and I'm being admitted in the hospital, they said, now you need to just come out of that marriage.
Okay, but now, was the beating as a result of just not having the ability to have a child, or were there other things that were going wrong?
For me, the pressure was that.
It was mainly
because I could not conceive. Because I remember there's a time he had relationships, and openly he said that is because I'm not able to conceive. So there's nothing I would have done about that. Yes. Now,
one of the things and many questions I know that we get regarding somebody who's in an abusive relationship is what keeps you there? You were there, we're talking about now, what, 4 years?
6 years.
6 years.
Yeah, I stayed for 6 years.
The physical abuse started quite early in the marriage.
In the marriage.
What kept you there for 6 years?
Okay, what I will say, what kept me there is the fact that I did not have a place to go to, because I didn't have parents, number one. And every time I went to stay with my brother, because of course I was in and out, there's no you can be beaten and you're still there. So I would go to my brother's place. I'll feel like I'm neglecting him. I'll feel like I'm not doing right to him. I'll sympathize with him.
Almost like it's your fault.
Yeah, like it's my fault. It came to a point that he degraded me so much until I lost myself. I lost my value. So in simple terms, even when I went out there, people like are appreciating me. I would like wonder, why are they doing that?
I wonder, who are they talking
about?
Who
are they talking about?
Right.
So I was in a level whereby I had hated myself so much, so that I saw the only person who understands who I am as much as he's beating me is my husband then.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so year 6 and still no child, the abuse, you've now gone for counseling, you've sought help from your friends, then what happened?
Then one day the relatives tells me that I knew I'll never get children, and I ended up getting married to their son, and I was getting married to their son just to get dowry from them. So that is how bad it was.
And this was one of his relatives saying that?
Yeah. In fact, let me say one of the sisters saying that I got married to them just to take dowry, because I knew from the word go I'll never conceive. I didn't tell them what was happening with the relationship. As you all know, in the African setup, if you don't get a baby, the woman is regarded as infertile.
It's normally
so basically for me, I didn't argue with them. I just told them it's fine, but God knows. Yeah, so yeah, that's what happened.
Okay, so they came and told you that you only got married to him for dowry. Was that the breaking point for you?
Not really. That was said earlier, like 3 years, 4 years down the line. We stayed with him. The breaking point was when he beat me, and beat me in the streets of Nairobi.
This was now in public?
In public.
What was the reason at that point?
That time we had quarreled, and he had beaten me. I'd gone to my brother's place. And now this time he sees me in town. He harassed me and said that I have to go home. So he picked me up in the street, and he was like, why are you people came. There was a crowd of people, and they were like, why are you doing this? You should not be doing this. And then she said, this is my wife, so I need her. I need her to go home. She has gone for a long time, so I need to take her home. So the people said, kama ni wako, peleka, enda na yeye. And nobody tried to rescue me. So I was taken just before I reached to the stage. I saw askaris, and I ran to them, and I held on to them, and I said that I'm going to be killed by this person, because there's a time he even took a knife to wanting to kill me. So So that is when now the police intervened and my brothers came and I was rescued out of it. Okay. So from there, that is how it ended
that for
up.
you was the day that you decided, I cannot be in this marriage anymore.
I cannot be in this marriage.
Did you announce it? Did you let him know? Or how did you get out of it?
Yeah, because it ended up in the police station. So the parents came and everybody came, and I told them, if you want this thing to end, because I was taking now, we were going to court. Because if you go to the police station, the next step was in court. So we said that if you guys want this thing to end, then he has to, we have to just end this relationship. Because everyone knew what I was going through. Even the parents tried to talk to him and he could not listen to this. Even our parents tried to sit down to talk to him, but he could not even change. So basically they knew and understood what I was going through. So. Okay. That is how it ended. We separated. Everyone went with whatever he was going through. We went to court again to do the divorce, of which now the divorce went through. Okay. Yeah.
So from there now you had to pick up your life and move on with life. What happened?
Yeah, now from there
still no baby.
Still no baby. Now I'm so excited. Dr. has said that I don't have a problem. I get into this relationship and now I'm so happy. Now I'm going to get baby. I'm going to prove to everybody that I'm able to, I'm able to conceive. And now when it came to now the second marriage is when I tried conceiving the first year. Nothing happened. I went back now to Daktari. When Daktari did the same test, because that is the only way you prove whether somebody is fertile or not, he found that I had blocked tubes and I had fibroids. So basically that was preventing me from getting pregnant. So he told me, just because you stayed for a long time without conceiving, that is why we have the fibroids. And the tubes blockage, it happens because normally we women have a lot of infections. Some just come. So basically if they're not treated well, it's normally blocks. Right. The tubes. So I asked Daktari, you're the same person who told me I'm fine. Now you're telling me this is what is happening. So that is when he explained this. So I tried the first year, 1.5, nothing was happening. So Daktari said we need to do laparoscopy, where it was supposed to be costing around 200,000. So then I tried to talk to the husband then, and he said, he kept on saying, I'm going to give you the money, I'm going to give you the money. Little did I know he was working out a relationship somewhere. So
behind your back?
Behind my back. So he was not supportive. So to a point, a day I came and asked the brother who was at the UK to send me money, where he sent me money so that I can do now the laparoscopy. When he came from Safari, he came and asked me for the money and promised to refund. Cecilia, stupid, I gave it to him, and I never went.
Husband,
yeah, my husband.
You gave him the money that had been sent by his brother?
Yeah, to go and do the laparoscopy.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So he came and cried to me that he needed money to do something, and I gave it to him. So I didn't go for the laparoscopy, because he had promised after he uses, he's going to give me back. So I stayed, and yeah, he didn't give me the money. Nothing was done, and one day, after 2.5 years, he comes in the house, takes everything to my friend's place, and he says that I never want to see Cecilia. Yeah, so for me, he was saying I lied to him. Then I asked him what? He says that he was told that I will never conceive. And I came to lie to him that I could conceive. So basically the society out there and my friends were telling him that you've married Cecilia and she'll never get a child. So you're just wasting your time. So yeah, that is how now it ended.
He just woke up one day, packed his bags,
packed everything from the house and took it to my friend, and that was it.
Did you have any indication that this might happen, that he might leave?
No, no indications, because no, he had not showed me any indications at all.
But did you know he was also having another relationship with another lady?
At a point, there's a time I saw an SMS and I asked about it, and he denied it. So.
And you believed him?
And I believed him. In fact, there's a day I told him I would have sworn with the Bible that he will never cheat on me, because he had never shown me any sign that he could do that.
Wow.
Yes. So he went, married another girl, and that was it.
So you're back in the cold again?
I'm back in the cold. I went into depression, real depression. And to a point, I didn't want to be associated with anyone. I didn't want anyone talking to me. I didn't want even my family members to talk to me. It was so bad, such that even working was a problem. I remember it was so bad. So I stayed for like 1 year in depression, just going to hospital, in and out, just to make sure that I'm fine. Then one day I went to my gyno. I went back to my gyno, and they told me, Cecilia, you don't need to stay in this state. Look for money. Now that you're single, we see what is happening with you. So we need to do the laparoscopy. So we did that. We went. I looked for this money. I saved, I tried saving, and I made sure that I got the money. Then I told Daktari, now I have the money.
Sorry, was this while you're still depressed, or you had gone through that phase?
I've gone through that, an year.
When you were in your depression,
yeah.
What was your support system? Who was there for you?
I thank God. I was always going to church. I was always praying, but I was alone. I didn't want anyone around me.
Okay, so finally you now get the money.
Yes.
And you go for the laparoscopy.
Yes. So I went for the laparoscopy, and Daktari did for me. I just went and paid, and Daktari did for me the laparoscopy. Then he told me, Cecilia, the only question I was asking even before I recovered, I was like, was it a success? Was it a success? Because I wanted to hear from Daktari if it was a success or not. So Daktari kept on telling me, yes, it was a success. Yes, it was a success. So later on, we had a sitting with Daktari. After the operation, he told me to take like 2 weeks to go back to the hospital. I went back, and then he told me, now, Cecilia, what we need to do is within 6 months, you need to stay without direct intercourse, because it's like a wound. Yeah, when they do operation for you, it's like a wound. So yeah, I stayed for six months without direct intercourse. And one thing that I had promised myself is that I will never get married until I get my first baby, because I didn't want to go back to the same pressure I was in. So I met my husband now. And yeah, we start dating, and it's not serious, it's just there and then.
So for the 6 months you were just waiting for healing. Then after the 6 months, did you sort of make yourself available to any man? Because here you are, you've vowed that you'll not get married.
Yeah.
But how do you now conceive?
Of course, I was in a relationship, as in a friendship kind of relationship, where I didn't want to commit myself. And even him was not very committal, because he was still busy doing business. So to a point for me, I knew I wanted a baby. So it didn't matter if I'm getting married or I'm not getting baby.
For you, it was not a priority to settle down with you. You're okay with just having a friend?
Yeah, I was okay just having a friend and just having a baby.
Okay.
That was my first impression when I was meeting him. So yeah, after 6 months, I went to a chemist, and I bought a dozen of test kits, whereby I told God, by the end of this, I want to have my baby. By the end of this, I want to be pregnant. So the first month, after my 6 months, I tried, nothing was happening. The second month, nothing was happening. The third, nothing. But the fourth month...
When all this was happening, you know, you go with your test kit, because I'm just trying to imagine that here you are, and the test kit, I think it shows what, 2 lines?
Yeah,
when
2
you're
lines,
pregnant,
yes.
and 1 line
Yeah,
when you're not.
yeah.
At the point you see the 1 line, what is going on in your mind at that point?
It was taking me back, because even when I was married, I used to do these tests every time. So what was going in my mind was like, I think this thing is not real. It's not going to happen.
Test, yeah.
Yeah, so basically for me, it was just a normal test. Yeah, a kawaida kind of test. So I tested the first time, the second time. Then, yeah, the 4th time, I tried testing, and it came positive.
You had 2 lines.
Had 2 lines.
How did that feel?
I don't know. I can't even tell the joy. I could not, the first time I did not believe. I took another one because I had a dozen of them, as I told you. I tried again. I waited again for some time. Before I left that house, I had tested like 5 times.
And you're all alone?
And I'm all alone at that point, yes. So when I confirmed that I was pregnant, I said, maybe it's because it is in the morning. Maybe let me go to work, and then I come back in the evening, I try. So it became a routine. Like every other time, I will test and confirm that I was pregnant. So finally, yes, it was confirmed that I was pregnant, but I did not go to the hospital until I was 7 months.
Why was that? You believed in the test kit. You knew it was okay.
Not really. The reason why I didn't go to the hospital or I didn't tell people, in fact, I didn't tell anyone until I was 7 months. That is when I started telling people, is the fact that I didn't want to tell them that I was pregnant, whereas I was not. So as much as I'm confirming I was with my test kit, I was
something within you was still not
sure. Yeah, not very
sure.
Or maybe I was like, if I tell people, they're going to talk about it until it comes out. Yeah, the worst was when I told my sister who was in Israel when I was 3 months, and she told me to keep quiet and never tell anyone, because when you tell people, it's going to come out. Yes. So I kept quiet. So people would ask me, Cecilia, hey, naona ni kama uko na bald. I said, no, mimi niko sawa kabisa deport. So to a point that now I had my baby play, and truly my stomach was big. I could not hide it anymore.
But did you share this with your spouse, with your boyfriend?
Yes, I did.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
And what was his reaction to that?
Yeah, he was excited, and yeah, as he was excited, but not very committed to the relationship. Okay. Yeah.
But at least it was not a hit and run.
No. Okay. He took up the responsibility.
Okay, fine. Yes. Here you are now. Finally, baby is moving, and 7 months down the road, and it's time to break the news. How did you break that to your friends and your relatives?
Now it's time to break the news, and everybody needs to know that I'm pregnant. And yeah, they were all excited. But everyone I went to, they were like, "Ukona bole, yeah, kuambia ni God." Everyone I was saying, "This is God. This is not me. This is God." So everybody, they'll see me, they'll start crying, because 10 years down the line, and they knew what I had gone through, the divorces and the stress in the society. So for them, it was happiness. It was a miracle. Yeah, it was a miracle.
Okay. So here you are now, you've shared the news. How did you go through that period now from 7 months to the time you give birth? Because here you are now, everybody knows you're pregnant. Were you know, how are you displaying it? Was it extra excitement?
For me, it was extra excitement. Everywhere I went, I was like, I wanted to wear this sexy kind of maternity gowns. And everywhere I went, I'll go to Biashara Street, get to shop, get to see. But I didn't know what I was carrying. I didn't want to know.
You didn't want to check if it's a boy or a girl?
I didn't want to check whether it's a boy or a girl, because I told God I want a baby. So it didn't matter to me what I'll get. But deep inside me, I wanted a boy. So basically, I started shopping. I'll go get something, take it home. So when I'm at home, I'm just looking at it. And yeah, it came to delivery when I went to get my baby. And when I had my baby cry, because I went through CS, I tried to do normal, I couldn't. When I was shown my baby, I just started crying. And I saw it was a boy. I started crying, and I told God, thank you. Even the doctors were there. They had me say, thank you, God for giving me this boy. And when it came time to go home, I started again crying, started asking God, thank you for giving me this baby. But as I take him home, let it be the best place he'll ever want to be, because this is a gift God has given me. I don't know where I'm taking him, if it's really the best place. So I asked God to help me as I take him home. So when I went home, when I reached home, I started telling my boy, this is home. Welcome to our home, and just feel comfortable. This is where you will always be. I will always be your mother. You see, those kind of things. And it was such a joy to have my baby. A baby is the only thing you can own and say, this is mine. Yes.
Okay. What was making you feel like that might not be the best environment for your baby, especially given that you really desired 10 years down the road and finally got us? Why would you doubt that home is best for him?
The reason why is, have you ever been given something that is so precious? Like you've been given a diamond and you're taking it to Korogosho? You're wondering, is this...
Am I able to take care
Am I able to take care of this diamond? That's the kind of feeling I had. And that's the reason why I cried. And that is the reason why I asked God, let it be the best place I'm taking this kid. And true to his word, it is the best place.
Okay. We'll come to the organization that you started, and it was born out of this. But first of all, I'd like you to talk to all those ladies out there who have been trying for a baby and have still not got a baby. How do you get through that pressure?
Number one, what I will say is the pressure is too much, and we cannot ignore the pressure, because I always say even that mother-in-law has a right to ask you why you have not gotten a baby. But the way they ask you really matters, because I put myself in the situation whereby my son is married and they've not gotten a baby. I'll be concerned.
It's a genuine desire.
Yeah, it's a genuine desire. So it's just that they asked it the wrong way. So when you are asked, don't overreact. Yeah, share with them what you're going through. Because for me, if I sat my in-laws down and told them what I was going through, then they would understand and the pressure will not have been so much, you see. But what happens with us, or with the people who are affected with infertility, when people attack you or when they're talking about you, you run away. Or you go into depression. Yeah, you don't want to talk to anyone because you feel like you're not part of the society, or you're not complete because you've not gotten this baby. I want it to be like you're able to share whatever you're going through with your relatives or with your husband.
Be open about it.
Be open about it, because there's no way help will come if you're enclosed. So let them know what is happening with you, because if they know, somebody will be having a solution, or maybe they will come up with something. Let us fundraise for you to do A, B, and C, and D. So basically for me, it's just coming out. And the other thing is we need to end the stigma associated with infertility. And I'll be talking about that when we're talking about Fertility Kenya. So,
okay. And to the husbands and boyfriends and men in society who are pressuring their wives to have children, and maybe genuinely they don't know how to treat them, they don't know what to expect, what is it that you'd have loved to be told by your husband at that time when you're going through that?
Well, what I would have loved to be told by my husband when I was going through it, I just needed their support. Nothing else. I didn't want anything. I just needed their support. When people are talking about me out there, they're standing with me saying that this is my wife and nobody can touch me. I needed him to tell me, Cecilia, we need this money. Can we save and do A, B, and C? I needed him to, when I go home and I feel like I need a baby, let him be my baby at that particular time. That is what I really lacked. And I wish I got that. I've seen people who've stayed for 17 years, and this is what they have been doing. They've been there for each other. They've been there to support each other. They've been there to talk to the society back when they attack their family. So basically, if I saw that, I'll be in that marriage, and we would have succeeded by now.
Okay, before we go to Fertility Kenya, to the parents who get children, we have this tendency as human beings to take things for granted and assume that it is automatic, to a point where when you have that child, you see to you it was a gem because you know where you're coming from. But the others who just, pop babies, literally it's automatic. What would you say to them in terms of just forgetting that that is a gift?
I want to talk to the parents who think that it is automatic for somebody to get a baby. When you see like the wife who's married there doesn't have a baby, or if you have a son or a daughter who who intends to get married or wants to have a baby, what you need to do is support that couple. Don't talk about them. Don't even get into into the nitty-gritties of what is happening. But basically, love them. Because if you love and embrace them, there will come a point when they will discuss that issue with you, you see. But if they see like you're repelling because you are not able to get, even calling your son by the side, telling him to get another wife, then that is very wrong. The other thing is, I will ask mothers who have little girls, please take care of those little girls. Make sure that they are not exposed to pills and all these things, especially after the after pill, because what it does, it destroys the eggs. So when it comes to a point when you want to conceive, you're not able to conceive. And also to the young boys who are now getting into intimacy, they need also they need to stop taking the blue pills, because what they are doing right now is going to affect them. It's going to destroy them. So we need to stop them from the word go. Yeah, many parents, what they're doing right now is putting their daughters into family planning just because they don't want them to get pregnant when they're in school. Right. Watch out what you're doing, because this could affect that daughter when she get married. Okay,
I guess we'll even invite you. There's a societal issue right now with some groups coming out to push for children to get sex education and contraceptives from the age of 10, but that's a different debate for another day. Tell me about Fertility Kenya. What caused you to tip and now decide I'll do something about this? Because there are many who go through what you go through, but at the point you get the child, you think, oh, thank you, Lord, let me just take care of this baby. What made you actually now come up with an organization? The
reason why I came up with an organization, after I got my babies, the two of them, because I got immediately.
How old are they now?
The first one is 3.5. The other one is just 2 years.
I wish you'd come with them, but anyway.
I'll come with them next time.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now, what made you start the organization?
The organization. The reason why I started the organization is after I got my babies, everybody was coming back to me and asking me, Cecilia, what happened? What did you do? What process did you undergo so that you got your little boys? So I started telling them, so I'll be called somewhere to talk about what happened to me and how I got my babies. I'll talk to them about it. I'll get people just seated somewhere and I see my son running. I say, oh, this is my miracle boy. Ametoka mbali, you know. Then they will want to know the story. Then one day, I decide, now I think I need to, and during my struggle of infertility, I tried to look for a place where I can run to. A place, somebody I can share with. Because as you see, all this time I was struggling with infertility, I was not sharing with anyone. Try asking me why I'm not getting a baby, you're not my friend, I'm gone. So I wanted, if there is a place where I can run to and talk to them about what I was going through.
Of sorts.
Yes, and there was none. So the only person I used to talk about my infertility with is my doctor. And the doctor, the only thing he can tell you is that within the 20 or 30 minutes you'll be with him is the results of your test and what you need to do and the operation you need to do, period. Yeah, and then he tells you to go and wait. So I saw the need in the society to have a foundation that is dealing with these people who are affected with infertility, so that when they come there, we give them hope. So basically in Fertility Kenya, we're calling it a shoulder to lean on, because you're out there, you don't have anyone to talk about. You're out there, society doesn't want to incorporate you in whatever you're doing. So when you come to Fertility Kenya, you find a family. We are a family. We have over 300 beneficiaries who are in Fertility Kenya. So basically, when they come, we laugh, we share what we're going through. Somebody has stayed for 22 years, you've never conceived. Somebody has stayed for 17 years. They tell us how their husbands are treating them, and we laugh about it. Why do we do this? Because we believe if you don't share what you're going through, it kills you. Even you don't sober up to get this baby. As you've seen, I got my baby because I sobered up. If I didn't go back to out of depression, I'll still even today be in this depression and I'll not have taken the step. So we try to sober them up and then give them hope. Tell them that if Cecilia stayed for 10 years and now I have my 2 little boys, even you're able to do that. Then the other thing is, when they come to us, they have this mentality that they've been cursed. And some of them think they have been bewitched. Yeah, they tell me and they even give me facts. Cecilia, like me, my tubes are fine. My uterus is okay. Why am I not conceiving? I've been told there's a witchcraft. My sister-in-law or my sijui what has bewitched me. I'll tell them, no, it's not about being bewitched. It's about let's do this test and this one, then we get to know the problem. So when they come to us, the number one thing we do, we save them the energy of going to the daktari. We tell them, for us to know what is happening, you have to do these 5 tests. And we take them through.
You do them within the
we don't do them. We send them
to a doctor.
Whereby we have already negotiated for them. They are given at a good rate. Even the doctors they go to see, we have already negotiated with them, and they are given a very good rate.
Okay.
So basically, like consultation of the doctor we're dealing with is one of the high end, the one who operated on me and I got a baby. So he normally charges around 3,500 and he charges them around 1,500.
Okay. So in short, you're providing the information and an avenue for somebody to come and, a soft landing.
Yes.
Where you can get information and all that. Now, does Fertility Kenya only take care of women, or do you take care of men as well?
We do take care of men. But as I can tell you for a fact, the percentage of men who come to Fertility Kenya is like 5%. So they rarely come. And the 5% that come is because they are maybe they are under pressure, or maybe they are the ones who are affected. So basically, yes, we are dealing with both men and women, not just women.
Let's talk about the stigma, and how do we get rid of the stigma of infertility?
Thank you. That's a very good question. I feel that we need to educate these women. We need to tell them that this is the reality. It is a condition and it has a solution, so that they get to know what is the condition. It is blocked tubes, and there is a solution. If there is a solution, what is the solution? It is either laparoscopy or IVF. But as we educate them, because what we are doing as Fertility Kenya, we want to go out there. We want to go to the counties to just talk about infertility, just to educate even the society that it is not only that woman who is married there who will be having a problem. Even your son could be having the same problem. So what you need to do is incorporate them, love them, and then after you love them, they are going to conceive, or after you love them, they are going to feel accommodated in the society. So basically, as we go out there, we are also trying to do something as fertility. All the beneficiaries who are in Fertility Kenya, they are less privileged. They don't have funds because treatment of infertility is very expensive. Like one IVF costs around 350 to 500,000. So a common person will not be able to raise this money.
It's not pocket change.
It is not pocket. Expensive. This is a lot of money, and I guess that is why the whole thing is neglected. So basically, what we are doing as Fertility Kenya, as we go around educating people, we want to start. We've started a campaign. We are calling it 10 for 10. Campaign, whereby we're looking for 10,000 people to give us just 10,000 shillings to be able to pay for these less fortunate couples who are not able to raise this money. What we are looking at doing, we're looking at raising money so that we are able to pay for these couples, so that by 1 year we have done we have 100 or 200 couples who are able to conceive. So basically, that is what we are doing as Fertility Kenya.
And you've said that one of the things you want to do is let people know that there is the problem of infertility and there is a solution. What about those where there is no solution? It may not be, you may not be, how do I put it? You may not have the possibility of having children regardless of the surgery or hormone boosting and all that.
Okay. The solutions for infertility is there. So, number one, you can adapt. If you cannot afford.
Can't have a child biologically.
Yeah, biologically. if you come to us, we have agencies that we are working with. We have adoption agencies that we are working with, whereby when you come to us, we are able to take you through the whole process and you go through the right way. So basically, we have said there is no reason why you should stay without a baby. So that is number one. You can get, if you don't have all the 370 and the 500,000, you can go through adoption. And out of the 300, there are people who want adoption, there are people who want laparoscopy, there are people who will be doing IVF. But as I've told you, the costs on itself, it's too high. So
ideally, there is a solution. It may be not what you're thinking the solution is. It could be adoption, it could be surgery, or it could be otherwise.
Yes, it could be otherwise. But I'm feeling there is no, as we go out there, it will be so meaningless to go and talk about people to come out of the stigma when we have not provided a solution.
Right.
So us as we ask Kenyans to support such organizations which are coming up to just support these people affected with infertility, and also the government to take up their responsibility and do at least one IVF in one public hospital. We don't have.
Or to subsidize.
Yes, and to,
well,
to subsidize
Cecilia Wairimu Karanja, it's been a pleasure having you. Thank you so much for sharing your story. I'm sure there's some women and some men out there who are definitely inspired to know that you went through it. 11 years on, you have 2 babies who you treasure, I'm sure, very much, and may God bless you. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, that's where we're gonna wind it up this morning on Morning Express, and I'll take this opportunity to wish you all a fantastic day. Sophia, I think you could throw your wave since you're off camera, and I will wave to the rest of the people. Yeah, she's waving at you, so yeah, saying goodbye and wishing you all a fantastic day. Thank you so very much for joining us right here on Morning Express. Do join us tomorrow where we do this again, and as usual, we have your morning covered. Have yourselves a great day. God bless.